Hello there, Capricorn. Welcome back to Misfits of the Zodiac. My name is Ace. I'm doing a winter solstice reading for you guys for today. Instead of my normal December monthly readings, I don't know, I felt inclined to do a solstice reading. So the solstice is December 20th or the 21st, depending on the year. It's basically the longest night of the year and the shortest day. From that day forward, the light starts coming back. In other words, the days start getting longer from there until the summer solstice. So we are starting to move into the lighter half of the year, even though we are in the darkest time of the year. So I don't know, I just felt inclined to do that. Also, for those of you who don't know, I just finished up on a TV show. I can't name names. I was a patient though, and I was in a medical show that is starting back in January. And it's in its second season. That's all I'm going to say. If you can figure out what it is, then good on you. I can't say yes or no to anything if someone figures it out. Hopefully I'll be able to talk about it soon. But until then, we just finished wrapping up with that. They wrapped on me. I wrapped on the show on December 1st, so it just wasn't enough time to kind of do the readings, and I needed some time to kind of recalibrate because I had a lot of friends on that show, and it was an emotional ending, let's just say. I just needed some time to kind of reflect, kind of get into my own space again, remember what it was like to not be doing back-to-back 12-hour days on set, and so I could bring my full self to these readings and not feel like I was stealing, any of energy that I needed to kind of work through some stuff on my end. So thank you for your patience. But without further ado, let's get into it. So your first card is the Seven of Athmes. So this is talking about strategery, okay? This person is being very strategic. I feel like I'm inclined to say about your time. I feel like you might have your hands in a lot of different things. You might be doing a lot at one time. And as a lot of people do at this time of year. And I feel like you're finding not only a way to find balance, but you're almost like finding a way to do things where you give just enough energy to do X, Y, and Z, and so you're able to do all of the things, but you're giving it the least amount of effort possible with the most amount of return on investment. Does that make sense? So you're finding a way to be so strategic that you're able to do all of the things without having to put a ton of effort in, and not in a way that like you're losing out or you're not giving enough to said things. It's just that you're realizing you're being very strategic about what you really need to put in and not giving everything your all. You're just giving just enough to keep the wheels spinning and greased, because you have a lot on your plate. But I feel like because of this strategic move, you're learning a lot about what is actually needed versus what is perceived to be needed, if that makes sense. I do feel like shortly after that, though, you're going to need to rest. So you have the Four of Athmes. This is asking or telling you that there could be a need for a vacation. There could be some need to slow down. This time of year, our ancestors used to use winter as a way to reflect and kind of move with the season, right? This is a very quiet, should be a very quiet, very solitude-driven, introspective time. It's a time in the darkness, if you will. It's time for things to gestate and to allow things to kind of work through things, but also time to reflect more than anything. And I feel like if we give ourselves the time to slow down a little bit this time of year, which can be very hard, it will bring a lot of clarity and a lot of peace to us that is really well needed. If you've been pushing really hard all year and you don't give yourself time for a break, you will break, if that makes sense. So taking some time out for yourself, I think, is going to be really beneficial from the winter solstice, which is on or around the 20th to the 21st, all the way through the new year. Could be really beneficial, even if it's just 20 minutes a day to just sit in silence, maybe meditate, get outside, just take a breath, is going to be really beneficial to you. Your next card is the Lady and the Lord. So this is the Lover's card in the normal tarot. There could be a love offering that's offered to you on or around the winter solstice. If you are already in a committed relationship, this could be you just having that reignited spark with someone that you really care about, and you're finding some sense of a return of the love, a return of the excitement to be around this person. You're maybe looking at them in a different way that you haven't seen in a long time. And it could be a calling to do that. Maybe go out on a date. Maybe set yourself up for success when it comes to that. I think it could be really beneficial to your connection with this person. Your next card is the Lord of Shadows. This is the Death card in the normal tarot. So something could be dying for you. And this is not supposed to be scary. This is a death and a rebirth. So in other words, something is needing to be let go. Some things need to be cut out because it's no longer serving you anymore, so that something else can be rebirthed that's much better for you. So I feel like it could be in relation to this relationship. If you are in a committed relationship, I feel like there's something about maybe a sense of, I'm getting the feeling of complacency that needs to be cut out. In other words, more time and energy and focus needs to be put on intimate time. And I don't mean just in a sexual way. I mean in a taking time for dates, being focused on the other person when they're speaking, giving them time to, and this goes for both parties, really taking time to listen to one another, paying attention to their wants, paying attention to their needs, paying attention to what excites them or is making them feel joy. And I feel like if there's a sense of complacency, sometimes then you lose the spark, and letting go of that complacency can help rebuild or re-solidify a sense of a new beginning with this person. And I feel like if you aren't in a committed relationship, maybe you're going about dating in a different way. Maybe there was an old way of doing things that just didn't work, or maybe you didn't take enough time to look at someone's, if you're looking online, like their profile, or you didn't do enough dates before you committed to being in a long-term relationship with somebody, and you're just kind of like, you're just doing things differently. You're trying new things. You're trying it in a different way. And I think it's going to be really a powerful experience for you. And you're going to feel more in your own element. You're going to feel more, how do I say? I feel like you're going to feel more empowered than you have previously. Like you've learned some things about the way that you used to do things. Maybe you were too much of a people pleaser and you didn't ask enough from the other person in return. And as a result, that, previous people who you've been involved with maybe took advantage of your time or advantage of your effort. And now you're coming back at dating in a totally different way. So I feel like it's going to be very beneficial to you, what you have taken time to learn and what you've cutting out, so that you can have a totally different experience this time. The next card that you got is the Oak King. This is all about perspective. This is you getting some sort of perspective change. And I think that as a result of this death and rebirth that you're experiencing, you're having some sort of either paradigm shift or just a perspective change. You're seeing things differently from a different point of view. This person is upside down, so they're looking at the world upside down, and it's giving them a different perspective of what they're seeing. So I feel like if you take time to cut things away that are no longer serving you, it's going to, and give yourself time and space to kind of reflect on some things, it's going to allow you to see things from a different perspective and move through till the end of the year with a totally different mindset than you have previously. And I think it's a really positive mindset. Maybe, I don't know, just looking at things differently than you have before is going to be really beneficial. Your next card is the Two of Pentacles. So this is talking, again, kind of like the Seven of Athames, where you're being very strategic and you're like figuring out what to put your time into. This person is finding a really good balance with things. I feel like a sneeze is coming. Maybe not. So this person has built a barn here, okay? And there's this little fox. So again, with the strategy, the barn is a representation of, you've kind of built this system to weather the storm that's coming. So if you can see, there's like a storm coming. And this is telling you that you are on stable ground. You've set yourself up for success to find balance. And I feel like you're doing a really superb job at finding a way to keep all the plates moving without putting too much energy into all the different things. You're putting just the right amount of energy into all the things to keep all the plates spinning. Just remember, because it's directly under your Four of Athames, that you need to take breaks. You don't want to burn yourself out. So you might be getting a lot of stuff done, but just making sure that you take time to take breaks. It's reinforced by the next, by your next card, which is the Standing Stone. This is talking about balancing the scales, but also it's asking for you to take some time for stillness. I feel like, again, with the Oak King, where you're getting a new perspective, the best way to get a new perspective is to take some time out. Take some time to reflect. I feel like meditation is going to be really important for you if you can get some meditation time in. Also, I feel inclined to talk about the little spider that's down here. There's like a little web down here. This is talking about the community that you've built. So trying not to put too much on yourself and being able to rely a little bit on the community and not getting too caught up in, well, I have to do all of the things. I think that's going to help you take some time to sit in stillness so that you can get a new perspective. Your last card before your Oracle card is the Ace of Athames. I feel like by the very, very end of the year, the last couple of days, you're going to have some sort of breakthrough, some sort of either information is coming in, or you're going to have something that rises to the surface that you are going to have some clarity on, something you've been looking for clarity on for some time. And I feel like it's going to help launch you into your new year. And it's a really positive energy that I feel is coming. This also could be what you're cutting out as a result of this Death card. You're finally realizing like what no longer serves you, and you're cutting something out so that you can have a brand new beginning in the new year. Your Oracle card is Chills. So it says, upon my flesh within the bones quivers a crawling frozen in numbness. Shall I ignore or shall I bestow it? A frozen knowing looks back at thy soul. So I feel that I keep getting this sense that you're reigniting something, whether it's this passion with this person that we were talking about before, or just your own internal furnace is being lit. I feel like you may have been in the cold for some time. You may have been feeling maybe numb or like just not in your body for some time. And I feel like the chill has set in and you're finding ways to reignite yourself. You're letting things go. You're cutting things out of your life and you're getting excited about life again. You're getting excited about what's coming for you in the new year, and you're setting goals and you're getting re-engaged with yourself and with your passions and with what you want to create in this life. And I think that's a really beautiful way to start off your new year. So that is what I have for you. I hope this resonated in some way. If it did, I would love to hear from you in the comments, or leave a like, share, or subscribe, and have you come back as a misfit. This is probably what I'm going to have for you for the end of the year. I don't foresee myself doing any more tarot readings until the new year. So I hope this resonated with you, and this serves you well for this season. And I will talk to you on the other side.